Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ōkami walkthrough. It's time for us to head to the sunken ship. Now, basically, this is a mini dungeon. The reason I say it's a mini dungeon is because much like Hana Valley, it is... well, it doesn't have a boss at the end of it. It has what amounts to a boss fight in the middle, but other than that, it's not really got the same structure as a normal dungeon has. So this isn't our Suta Ruins / Gale Shrine / Moon Cave deal. Although that said, it is much more... how do I phrase this? It's much more complicated than we had to deal with Hana Valley, basically. And there's actual sort of puzzles going on in here. So, Rao said about making it kind of the next moon, so annoyingly we have to turn off the beautiful music in order to get this thing going. But thankfully the sea parts and we can move on. Now you need Holy Eagle to be able to get up to the moon turret, so that is why I said you need to get that to progress. I believe if you walk, if you go up to it after speaking to Rao, the game will tell you that essentially tell you that you need Holy Eagle to progress. But I can't be 100% sure because I think I've always just, because I've used guides and stuff, it's always been like, okay, I need to get Holy Eagle because I need it to progress. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this fact, but I think you can technically return to the Lunar Lagoon after your visit here. So if you miss all of this, it may be possible to come back if you go to the moon turret, do Crescent again and stuff. But equally, it may actually completely all shut off after this visit. I can't quite remember. I've got the Ōkami Wikia, which is an incredibly helpful source of information, which is telling me you can get back in, but then part of my brain's saying to me, no, I don't think you can. I mean, technically you should be able to, because there are 3 important unlockables in here. Because, like, obviously, when we were at the Moon Cave, which is definitely inaccessible to you after beating it, there are no stray beads or sun fragments or what have you in there. But there are in the sunken ship. So yes, this place, as well as being sunk, is also cursed, because that's even better, isn't it? Thankfully, Rao is here to help us, and that means that we'll actually be able to progress throughout the dungeon, because she's going to ride on us. And, oh, here comes the starting of calling Rao Busty Babe. Army. Her face is up there, you know. Oh dear. So there are 3 bits of artwork in the art book about the sunken ship. So, we have, I feel that a certain kind of romance surrounds wrecked vessels and ghost ships. Fitting when we're listening to this music. The ship may look a bit like a Western pirate ship, but the design is actually based on an old Japanese freighter. In the concept drawing, you can see bewildered fish flopping about, stranded by the sudden lack of water. You can dig up shells containing useful items here in-game. And if you look at the concept art, which isn't on the Ōkami wiki, surprisingly enough. Oh no, it is, it's just that it's the main picture for the sunken ship rather than in the gallery. You can indeed see those flip-flopping fish. There's also a starfish, because why the hell not? Gives me kind of, well, it reminds me of Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. Pokemon, Diamond and Pearl Platinum. Because there's the whole thing where they blow up, well, Team Galactic blow up the lakes. And you go to one of them after it's been blown up and you just see all the Magikarp flopping, and it's really sad. That's what they're evoking. And then there are also 2 other pictures. So there's a storeroom which we will be visiting, which says the giant balance scale found in the freighter's storeroom. This is the supplemental sketch used in designing the actual mechanism. And then there's an armory. With this bit of horror stands out in the Ōkami world. I think a lot of people would agree that this is the scariest place in the whole game. It was trying to create an atmosphere similar to that of a haunted house, and my good god, did they succeed! Because, yeah, this place is just really creepy. Because, I mean, not only is the music kind of slightly terrifying, but you've got trick chests, because that's nice. Basically, I mean, you should be able to tell which ones are fake, because they are kind of a much brighter golder colour. The 3 that are in the middle are real because they've got that duller effect. Funnily enough, I think that's actually partially how you should be able to recognise, like, fake pound coins. Because I'm pretty sure that those are, like, the gold colour is much brighter. Also, there's loads of other ways of telling, but not only do we have trick chests, we also have these terrifying dolls, which just, oh, and then there's the laugh. Oh, and then we have spirits. So as we move here, we are going to get accosted by the Spider Queen, and she can't do anything to us, but she's just going to be here and try and annoy us and scare us. Because that's always fun. You also have the ghost imps, is what I'm going to call them, that will also accost you, and they are equally terrifying, and they actually hurt you, so you've got to be careful. And ah, lovely, a mound of bones. And here we have these annoying as all hell crabs. So you have Saburo and Jiro. Jiro is the green one, Saburo is the red one. And what's kind of terrifying is that, so this is the bestiary entry on them. Jiro and Saburo are the spirits of a couple who jumped into the sea when their marriage was opposed by their parents. Jiro resembles the hermit crab with a shark head for a tail. It throws sea urchins to protect Saburo and uses its own hard hide for defense. attack repeatedly and the shells should disengage. Basically, that is what you're trying to do, is attack them enough to get them to come out of their shells. And then, one for Saburo is Sad Saburo digs holes to reunite with its partner, Jiro. It believes that by digging to let the water in, the two can be together in the sea. Variations of the Saburo legend exist, especially in seaside villages. Now, I'm not sure whether this is an actual myth. I mean, it very much could be. But I really dislike the fight with those two. Because, I mean, at the minute we don't have their weakness, and we will not be getting their weakness for the longest of times. Like, it's, I believe, the penultimate brush technique, and we are a very long way away from getting there. Now, I believe, let's have a look for Jiro and Saburo in the art book. Here we go. So, Jiro, based on a hermit crab look, his face is some kind of horrible joke. Saburo, designed to look like a scorpion. Saburo's is another special face. And we will see them a little bit later on, potentially as well. The thing is that they are, while sort of a mini-boss, they are just a normal enemy. So that's why this game, well, this particular mini-dungeon doesn't technically have a boss. Because Jiro and Saburo, while sort of mini-boss-like, aren't an actual boss, they're just a normal enemy. And when we return back into this room, things have changed up a little bit, and as we get near to the middle, look who's back. And they fusion into Ichiro. Ichiro. Yes. Which is a lot more difficult to defeat. He is much more of a normal boss, is Ichiro. But the way that you kind of want to try and get him is getting him to land on these exploding barrels and blow him up. Really not a fan of this particular fight, because essentially you need to try and have a foothold. You don't have many places for a foothold. So it just becomes rather challenging. Description in the art book for Ichiro is Ichiro, the quintessential combination demon of Ōkami. I really like his face in the image scrolls. Very scary. And it was quite nice in having Jiro and Saburo combined to form Ichiro. Is that, so obviously a couple that died at sea together, and they can combine together to form one being, so they are together. Which is really sweet. Now, funnily enough, you actually aren't really ever gonna see Ichiro again. I think he may turn up once, and that's it. Like, well, once more, and then that's it. So, yeah. And now the cogs in my brain are whirring slightly, and I'm just like, I can't remember how to work this thing. Basically, you need to do a little bit of work on... You've got to jump and stand on it, on the cannon, and then do a little bit of manoeuvring. And that is how you are going to blow everything up. But we have a sun fragment! We've still got to collect... Oh! We've collected 3, so we get an extra bit of sun energy, so... You see, it's very, very, very useful to do this stuff, you know? Now, I have to say, this is a bit of a challenge to read. Because it's a very careful game of kind of levelling it all out. Annoyingly, you... well, at least I don't think... Oh no, it does work. I wasn't sure whether it would. Because, I mean, come on. Cannons do not fire underwater. That's not how they work. At least I don't think they do. Because the way at least I see it, I'm not an expert on cannons, I am certainly not an expert on most things. Heck, I'm only vaguely got some expertise in terms of literature, and that's because I did a degree in it. But, like, because if the water gets into the cannon, then that simply will not... It'll prevent anything from going on because it'll all be damp. That's why generally, like, if you get guns wet, the gunpowder gets damp, so you can't set it alight, so it can't fire. And so with the cannon, because you're dropping a bomb in it, and firing that bomb, the flame will get extinguished, and so it won't do anything. So, bit dodgy, but I suppose I can forgive them, because, I mean, it's a fun little puzzle, not that it exactly works, and oh my good god! Yeah, I think I nearly had a heart attack when that appeared, because it's... I mean, it's disgusting! And I mean, this is literally the only place it shows up, and it's... oh... just this hideous mossy hand. It's not even moss, it's just... ah. So this is called the Greater Monster, and it was designed as the main trap on the sunken ship. Due to the game mechanics, its face moves around freely, but initial designs just had the face and arms sticking up through the deck. I think a lot of players may have been surprised by the appearance of the first arm. Good god, yes. It was terrifying. So, yeah, this goopy thing, I don't know where the hell it comes from. I don't know why they decided this was a good idea. What's really weird is that the Greater Demon doesn't actually appear in the Ōkami Wikia, which I would have thought it would. But yes, that thing pulsating down there is a face. And just... ugh. And actually I do see that the Greater Monster does exist on the Ōkami Wiki, it's just it's hidden away in a thing. So it's a seaweed demon, and it's similar apparently to Umibozu, who is a monk that died at sea and kindly appears to ships for a bucket, only to disastrously fill and capsize the ship. So Umibozu means sea bonze, or bonds, which relates to a bhikkhu, which is an ordained monastic monk. So, Sea Monk is basically what that name means. And yeah, it's just all sorts of terrifying. Because, I mean, you've got drooping eyelids and the cheeks hanging loosely out of seaweed. I mean, just look at it. And then it's got seaweed all over it. It's got an eye on its hand and just... oh. Now, you can kill it. That's what we're going to do now. It requires doing a little bit of this. Rolling a spiked barrel onto it because... fun! Oh god, it just creeps me the hell out. Oh, thankfully for getting rid of it you get 50 praise, so it's worth your time to do that, but just... oh! Just the way it goops and... oh. Can't stand it. At all. It freaks me out. But we're pretty much done with the dungeon now. So that's nice. Do a little bit more destruction, and then we're in the treasure room once we've gotten rid of the bloody Crimson Helm. Sod off, man. All he does is sort of impede your movement, which is frustrating, but it could be worse. Now, thankfully there are only... well, there's 3 treasure chests in here. Thankfully you can get all of them before you leave this room. Otherwise, I mean, you'd lose that chest there if you did what I just did. But this is a lucky mallet which can shrink people down until they can pass through the eye of a needle. Which is... sounds very, very remarkably useful for meeting a certain half-baked prophet's prophecy. So yeah, you can get this damn good thing I'm able to because it's a stray bead. I think I would have killed myself. Well, no, I would have been incredibly frustrated and had a hissy fit. Is a more apt description of what would have happened. But yeah, so kinda want to make sure that you get that treasure chest because, I mean, it's... you need it. But the second you leave the room, you go into a cutscene, so do make sure that you get that treasure chest if you're collecting all the stray beads, because otherwise you're going to be so colossally screwed over. Also, Ami, why don't you know, use lily pads? Otherwise you're gonna drown. And something's coming. Issun, this isn't the time to be joking about having a piss in the sea. Issun, about that. There he is! That's the blooming water dragon, you moron. And now, we need to escape. Now, it is possible to escape the water dragon's clutches. Basically, you just need to get to land. It is also easily possible to get caught by the water dragon. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do get caught, because I'm pretty sure that you'll just get dropped off on the beach. But essentially, as soon as you get to this point, he will stop chasing you. So, it's really not difficult to get to where you need to go. Also, I am going to drown. Yay! that was graceful, wasn't it? But the lucky mallet has come out for some reason. I think it wants us to do something. And so, let's begin our chasing of the mallet. Obviously, I think I just want to pick up a few things before we do this, because we're actually going to be heading straight into the dungeon. Or at least the first dungeon of this third of the game. And, rather awesomely, I believe we now have enough money to get the 7 strike. So, success! Now, I'm pretty sure that the Lucky Mallet works in the exact same way as Chun did, the sparrow from Sasa Sanctuary, when we rescued her, so don't have to worry about it not leading you right.